get to the money. Gotta get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. So you know that I'm on it. Gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids and me. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. And gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids and they. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money.
Welcome to another episode of Drinking After Dark, a podcast where we discuss random topics while having a few drinks. I'm your host, Darius, and as always, drink responsibly. And y'all make sure y'all follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Tonight, I'm drinking on something different because what we're going to be talking about tonight, I'm actually drinking on Gatorade tonight. Usually I'm drinking on my Crown Royal vanilla mixed with Dr. Pepper cream soda, but I'm drinking on Gatorade tonight. And tonight's episode is sponsored by Joe Shakinab and Shakinab.com. Go visit Shakinab.com for services, monthly updates, and contact information. Once again, visit Shakinab.com, promoting leadership and scholarship. All right, man. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did, and I know I'm really excited about this weekend. Because this weekend there's a big fight that's happening this weekend. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford, and this fight was a long time in the making, right? I'm really excited to see these two get in the ring and everything like that. It's been back and forth, talks died down. They didn't fight each other. They fought other opponents, but now they finally are about to battle it out, this Saturday. I got some things that I want to say about this particular fight because, I'm also a fight fan as well. Overall, I'm a sports fan, but I'm definitely into the fight game. And with this particular fight, I think that, it needed to happen, right? And I'm going to tell you why it needed to happen. Me personally, I felt like who really needed this fight to happen was Bud Crawford, okay? Now, before we get into why I think that, let's get over some, little details or whatever like that. Let's go over some details. So both guys are undefeated, okay? Both guys are undefeated. Errol Spence Jr. is 28-0 with 22 knockouts. But Crawford is 39-0 with 30 knockouts. All right. So somebody's gonna leave with, with a 1 in the loss column, unless there's a tie. And we all know about boxing judges and how they, about boxing judges. All right. We have seen some questionable decisions over the last, long time, decades. All right. We all know about the infamous Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis decision, the first fight. We know about that. Clearly, Lennox Lewis won that fight, but come on, man. It was some controversy, and it still happens to this day. So, but somebody's going to leave with a 1 on it in the loss column, in my opinion. All right. Now I'm going to get to well, first off, why is this fight so big? Because there's been a lot of talk. And then you start seeing a lot of these fights happening. You look at Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, which that trilogy they had, it was really one-sided. It was really one-sided. You really take not the first fight, but really the last 2 fights, it was really just a one-sided fight, right? But they were both at the top of the game. So as boxing fans, we wanted to see that, even though before that, we really wanted to see Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Didn't happen, which I'm still disappointed. It never happened. Hopefully it will. You never know. I don't think it will have the same. I don't think it will have the same impact. But when they were at the top of their, both of them at the top of their game, I think that, that's when they should have made the fight happen, which I would get into why these fights don't happen. But with this particular fight, these guys are two of the best in the welterweight division. These guys needed to get in the ring, and we all know there's a business side to it. We get it. There's a business side to it. Somebody wants more money, whatever. By the end of the day, it's about proving who's the best, right? And I just think that too many times people believe that, I deserve more money, in which is like, okay, are you going to use? And I started believing this for a long time, that they were using this money angle as a way to not fight somebody, because I believe, in my opinion, they were scared to fight somebody. So they're using a money angle and all of this. So, but again, they had to make this fight happen. Why? Because Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia made their fight happen. So now they're looking at everybody else like, all right, this is what we all want to see. We want to see two of the best in this division go at it. And they finally made it happen. Now, I would say this. Why is this fight more important to Bud Crawford than Errol Spence Jr.? Not saying it's not. It's equally important to the both of them, but this is from my perspective. Bud Crawford, I don't know if you actually followed his career, or you're still following his career. Bud Crawford, no, he was ranked number one pound for pound fighter in the world, right? I think he's still ranked number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Let me look that up. But the opponents that he was facing, right? We're not talking about on his rise. I'm talking about when he became champion, right? He became the pound for pound king. When you're on that level, usually your fights are on pay-per-view, right? But all his fights was on, ESPN, which I think is good, because it gives a lot other fighters, especially on the undercard, it gives them a chance to, let the world see, like, hey, I'm here, I arrived, I get to shine because it's on TV. So I think that's actually pretty good. But I just feel like, to me, I just felt like the opponents that he was facing, I think it didn't really push the, pay-per-view, is this guy a pay-per-view draw, right? Even though he was pound for pound the best fighter in the world, number one, but the competition he was facing wasn't going to draw that pay-per-view revenue, which a lot of boxers want to get to. Okay? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of the fights I really wasn't impressed with Bud Crawford. Some guys he should have got rid of, like, man, in the first couple of rounds, should have got rid of them. And then some fights, he fighting some guy, these guys got talent. I'm not gonna say they don't have talent, but you could tell who was more superior in that ring, and he didn't get rid of them until, like, the fight went on longer than when it was supposed to be. So that was just my take on everything. All right. So let me see pound for pound who it is. I think they updated. Well, this is from Yahoo, okay? So apparently let me see. I'm looking at this right now. Okay, so Bud Crawford had been number one in terms of Yahoo, right? everybody got their own list. But this Japanese fighter, Inoue or something like that, I forgot his name. He fought Tuesday. Um, he actually moved up in class and basically beat Stephen Fulton for the WBC WBO Super Bantamweight World Title. So let me see who they got, how they got these guys ranked. Okay, so Bud Crawford is number 2. Okay, so they got Bud Crawford number 2. They have Errol Spence Jr. number 5. So you got 2 of the top 5 pound for pound fighters going head to head. And no, welterweights, of course, they got Tank Davis 6, Canelo Alvarez 7, Tyson Fury 8. Beta Bev, he's number 10. Shakur Stevenson, number 4. Y'all watch out for him because he's coming, right? He's gonna be the face of boxing, I believe, at one point. But obviously, Terrence Crawford needs this because he has to prove he was deserving of that pound for pound fighter. And there was a lot of doubters out there saying, hey, who have you fought? Who did you beat? Compared to Errol Spence, we know who he's in the ring with compared to Bud Crawford. So if we go to, let's do this. Let's go to his notable opponents. All right. Let's go to his notable opponents. Let me see. Notable wins. All right, so Julius Ndongo, Kell Brook, Jeff Horn, Ricky Burns, Yorkis Gamboa, Amir Khan. Okay. I mean, if you want to throw his name out there because he is like a big name in boxing, cool. But with that list, I'm not really sold on that list. Pretty much in terms of his notable victories and his best fights. So we go to Errol Spence Jr. And this is why I said the pressure is not on Errol Spence Jr. It's actually on Bud Crawford because he needs this fight. Okay. Mikey Garcia. They both beat Kell Brook, but Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Sean Porter. So let me see who else. So in my opinion, Spence fought better competition, right? And I think that, to me, Spence has been more prepared for this fight in terms of the competition leading up to this fight. That's just my opinion. So, hold on. Had to take a drink right there. But this to me, I always felt like the business of boxing will always get in the way of great fights. And you got to think about, the fights that should have happened that never happened, right? So I just feel like Bud Crawford needed this particular fight to prove that once again, I believe if he wins this fight, if Bud Crawford wins this fight, he will go back as the pound for pound king. Let me see what ESPN had just in case. Let me see. I don't know if they updated or anything like that. Yahoo updated. I'm trying to find um the latest rankings. I don't think they have the latest rankings on here. The fact they don't even have Devin Haney on here, that's a little crazy to me, but um I don't know. They don't have the okay. So this was back on May 24th. They actually had Terrence Crawford number one and anyway number two. But after this past Tuesday's fight, anyway is number one. Crawford is number two. I'm guessing. That's when I'm guessing how they rank based on what happened. But I believe Terrence Crawford can go back into the number one position if he beats Errol Spence Jr. Now, when you look at, all right, then I gotta look at this too because the combined records, I'm used to seeing Errol Spence on pay-per-view. I'm so used to seeing Bud Crawford on ESPN. I think it's good that big name boxers are on cable TV so everybody that could watch it, everybody can't really afford pay-per-view or things like that. So I always thought that was pretty cool, but at some point you outgrow that and you got to get to that pay-per-view money. That's where you really going to make the big money through the pay-per-view and the hypes leading up to the fight. So let me see real quick. But I don't know. I just feel like I just feel like, we're in for a good fight. We're in for a good fight. And I also just feel like, anything can happen. Do I believe there's going to be a knockout? No. I don't believe there's going to be a knockout. I believe it's going to go 12 rounds. And we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. They're not giving me the opponent's records. All of his opponents. Okay. Let me see. Okay, you got some of these guys had, some undefeated records or lost one fight. Felix Diaz, okay. John Molina, oh no, whatever. Well, of course, with any boxer, I'm not gonna count his earlier fights, like when he was beginning his pro career. I'm not gonna count those fights because we all know those fights are there to build up a fighter. So he was supposed to do what he's supposed to do in those fights. I think when he first fought a fighter with a winning record was in 2011, February 26, 2011. But with that being said, I believe it's going to be a good fight. Bud Crawford needs this fight way more than Errol Spence, but Errol Spence is coming. If y'all going to ask me who's going to win this fight, I'm going to let you know. Me personally, I believe that Errol Spence Jr. is going to win this fight. I just feel like he's coming in more focused. He's coming in saying, I want to be, the dominant welterweight in the world. I'm coming in letting everybody know that, my fights prepared me more for this moment than Bud Crawford's fights. Like I said, you look at the opponents, and a lot of times the opponents can let you know if this guy is ready to take on, this particular fighter, right? And I just felt like with Bud Crawford, well, not Bud Crawford, I'm sorry, with Errol Spence Jr., I felt like the way his camp navigated his career and say, no, you're fighting this guy. You fighting this guy, right? You fighting this guy. I felt like he was more ready to be, he was more ready for this moment. And you gotta think, a lot of times your opponents, they don't match up to the person who you really need to fight, right? So this is gonna be right now, this is gonna be each other's best opponent in their career by far, right? By far, this is gonna be their greatest opponent, right? And I think it's gonna be a boxing match. It's gonna be who's gonna dominate their style more. It's also gonna come down to how can I say this? Who can get off first, but who can land the cleaner shots. Also, who can control the fight more, right? And I believe that'll be Errol Spence. Like I said, the last couple of fights I seen Bud Crawford, and I was not really impressed. And going on that, right? Again, listen, we get it. You got everybody, you got the promotion, you got managers, you got trainers, all of them, guiding their fighter, right? And there's too many people with their hands in the cookie jar, right? That's why a lot of fights don't work. Too many people with their hands in the cookie jar. I just feel like when it's all said and done, I just feel like the fighters have to say, you know what? If I got to get you in the ring, if I got to take less money, I would do it. But I want you in the ring. At some point, pride has to come back. I feel like now we're starting to see a shift in, with these fighters who got pride and say, you know what? I don't mind traveling across the world to defend my title against you. No, you look at what Fulton and I just said his name. Y'all please tell me if y'all know how to say his name, right? The Japanese fighter. Anyway, I hope I said it right. I'm hoping I said it. If I didn't get it right, I apologize. But I've seen his fights. That's a bad dude right there. Nice. But I just felt like a guy like that with that mindset saying, okay, this guy is the either number one or number two pound for pound fighter in the world. I'm gonna go to his home, his backyard, and I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna defend my title. That's that pride. I think that's what we need more of. We need more fighters with pride to say, you know what? I want you. You're the one I want next, right? Shakur Stevenson, another guy. Him and Devin Haney been talking trash. Shakur Stevenson ain't running nowhere. So why is Devin Haney backing out? Come on, man. If you claim to be the best, hey, show it. Show it. Because people doubted you with your last fight. You might got the decision, but those doubters out there, last fight, even though this was in the movie, right? Apollo Creed, Rocky Balboa. Y'all heard what Apollo Creed said. He like, I won, but I didn't beat him. He wanted the rematch. The victor wanted the rematch. He would do whatever it took to get this man back in the ring. That's that pride in you. I don't know what is some sports, some athletes don't have pride. And some do. And you could tell like they're willing to go across the world to, fight somebody. And that's why I respect Fulton so much, man, for doing that. But when it's all said and done, I think Errol Spence Jr. to me is the better boxer. And I feel like he's going to take the fight in a decision. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. But I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if a knockout is going to happen. I just don't see it in this fight. I don't see it in this fight. I think two guys are way too smart. I think they know this is going to be a marathon. So it's going to go to the 12th round, and it could be close. It might not be close. I mean, it just depends on who dominates the fight. So, but I'm picking Errol Spence Jr. to win this fight over Bud Crawford based on my eye test. His opponents know who he has fought so far to get prepared for this moment. I just felt like Errol Spence Jr. is going to win this fight. And some of y'all agree, some of y'all might disagree. It's just my opinion, okay? I was going to leave it at that. It's my opinion. All right, so before we get into this next topic, this is one thing I really wanted to talk about as well. Remember, man, y'all hit that like, y'all hit that subscribe button, and Drinking After Dark podcast. And also let me know what I should try, drink wise. I do reviews as well. So y'all make sure y'all hit that hit the comments, man, and let me know what drinks I should try on my on my page. So y'all please hit me up, let me know. All right. So I gotta talk about this, right? We're gonna stick with sports. But we got to talk about. Oh, I forgot. Keith Thurman was a part of it. Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia was a bad dude too. We got to talk about the soccer player with the contract is like crazy contract, right? Let me see. What's his? I don't know his name. How can you say his name? Um, I'm trying to. I don't want to mess his name up, but I want to say. Excuse me for if I really messed this up. I want to say Kylian Mbappe. I guess that's how you say it. But he ended up he is a Saudi soccer club has reportedly offered a record-breaking package to this player, and basically one season, $776 million. That's to pay for his salary, and they had to pay another $332 million transfer fee to PSG for one guy. So they spent over $1 billion for one guy. Think about this. He's getting $750 million for one season. Now we talk about, sometimes we talk about crazy contracts, right? In baseball, when you see a player sign like a $300 million contract, that's over like 10 years, right? You saw Jaylen Brown with his contract. He's getting like $304 million, right? Over 5 years. Crazy, right? That has nothing on this. Like one season, $776 million. Unheard of. I almost think like, why do we play basketball? Why do we play football? Why not do soccer? We know they pay money for the top players. And we all know the top players in soccer are usually the most famous athletes in the world. We have seen it. Okay? And they pay big money But y'all don't know soccer is the number one sport in the world. Okay. Now in our country, it's kind of like on that level with hockey. You know what I mean? Because you got football, you got basketball, you got baseball. But in terms of the world game, right, soccer is number one, right? That's why the FIFA World Cup is so huge, right? It's so huge. And they got, I'm jealous. Like how? Like you know how many NBA contracts will come out to this, or how many teams their payroll for like this one season combined would get that? It'll take about 6, 7 teams probably to get to that amount for one season in the NBA. Crazy. And I'm really happy because it's like, you know, a lot of times they say, no, you know your worth, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he probably could have got more. If they were willing to give him $76 million for 1 year, he probably could have got a little more. I'm just saying, like if they wanted you that bad, oh, oh yeah. More money. More money. He probably could have got more, but he's gonna be, and that's not even including like the endorsements he has. I'm pretty sure he has plenty of endorsements. So I could say he's pretty much like a billionaire athlete. I mean, when it's all said and done, he's probably like a billionaire athlete. So shout out to him. I never thought I would see an athlete make that much money for 1 year. One season, all that money. And I'm not going to say I'm a huge soccer fan. I'm not going to say that. But I do know players. Okay. I remember Ronaldinho, Brazil. I remember Ronaldo. Yeah, David Beckham. Messi, who is now in MLS over here. Who else? What is his name? I already said Ronaldo. I mean, a legend. I mean, you can go back to like one of the all-time greats, Pele. I mean, you could go back to that, and yet I don't think even that. I mean, even with you think like Messi would probably got that, Ronaldo would got that. He got for one season, y'all. One season. I almost think like, man, if we would have trained to play soccer back when we were kids, we would have got that money. Right? And I'm pretty sure right now he's the most famous soccer player in the entire world. I know right now he is the most famous athlete in the world based on his contract and how social media has been blowing up. Right. So I would say, man, congratulations on that. Congratulations, man. I hope you do great things, great things, man. During your season and everything like that. So, hey, man, shout out to him. I can't. Hey, look, you can't be mad at that. You definitely can't be mad at that. That's you never would have thought. From one season, $776 million. Usually you get those type of contracts, they over like 10, 15 years. No. One season. That's crazy. All right, man. So we coming to the end of the episode. I just want to say thanks for tuning in. Make sure you tell your friends and family about Drinking After Dark podcast. New podcast episodes are uploaded every Friday. You can check it out right here on YouTube, or you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Please check in, tune in. Also make sure you follow Drinking Out the Dark podcast on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Man, y'all make sure y'all follow, man. And once again, please comment below or send messages on my pages on which drinks I should try, man. I try them out and I give y'all my honest review. All right, y'all. Until next time, I'm your boy Darius from Drinking After Dark Podcast, and we out. Peace.
Gotta get to the money. Gotta get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. So you know that I'm on it. Gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids and me. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money. Early morning, so you know that I'm on it. And gotta make sure that my family straight. Gotta make sure that the kids and they. Gotta make sure that the bills is paid. And then let's get to the money. Get to the money.